The bitter cold air has settled in across the inland northwest, and it's going to be sticking around right into the new year.
With the coldest weather of the year coming our way, that means dangerous conditions for anyone outside. What you need to know to keep you and your home safe. The Sun Bowl is in jeopardy. Just as the Cougs land in El Paso for the Sun Bowl, their opponent pulls out of the game. Who will play WSU next? We are tracking two big stories tonight. The Cougs Bowl, our chances are back on as a new opponent has now been announced. Plus, Arctic air is pushing its way into the inland northwest. What you need to know about the freezing temperatures headed our way this week. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on KREM 2 News at 6 o'clock. I'm Tom Sherry. Mark and Whitney are off this evening. We start tonight with breaking news. The Sun Bowl is going to go on. Just minutes ago, the new opponent to take on the Washington State Cougars in El Paso was announced as Central Michigan football is on their way from Tucson, Arizona, after their bowl game was also put in jeopardy when Boise State pulled out of the Arizona Bowl due to COVID-19. Brenna Green joins us right now. And Brenna, this has been topsy-turvy from the get-go.
Yeah, it's been quite a 24 hours, almost exactly 24 hours, to be honest with you, since Miami had to pull out. It literally broke right before I started speaking about the situation in our 5 o'clock show. It's official. WSU playing Central Michigan in the Sun Bowl. Here's what Pat Chun had to say in a statement tonight. We are grateful for the diligent work of the Sun Bowl Association, the Pac-12 Conference, the Mid-American Conference, and Central Michigan University to ensure the 2021 Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl will be played. A special thank you to CMU's Director of Athletics, Amy Folan, and head coach Jim McElwain for prioritizing the bowl experience for both teams, especially the seniors who will be playing their final college bowl game. Jake Dickert also said in a separate tweet that he thanked the Sun Bowl for their tireless work in making this happen. Earlier today, WSU practiced in El Paso, and at that point, they were still hoping for an opponent. Right after media availability, it broke, like you said, that Boise State unable to play in the Arizona Bowl because of a COVID outbreak within their program. That then cleared the way for Central Michigan, who was supposed to play in the Arizona Bowl, to play in the Sun Bowl. Central Michigan, only a 4-hour drive away from El Paso, as they're in Tucson right now for that Arizona Bowl, so no logistic problems there. One of the big reasons why Central Michigan made the move from the Arizona Bowl to the Sun Bowl is because the money, ladies and gentlemen, the payout much bigger for the Sun Bowl. How much? The bowl game gets $4.3 million in TV money from CBS. And meanwhile, the Arizona Bowl only makes $350,000 and is also only streamed on YouTube. Earlier today, media on the ground caught up with WSU, and the team's enthusiasm to play was still through the roof.
This group has been through a lot. You know, with a coaching change in the middle of the season and how tight our group is really bonded together, there's no challenge that we feel like we can't overcome. They just want to be together, right? And when I told them this morning, you know, we don't know what's going to happen, but let's go out there and work, they started celebrating. You know, they want to be out here together, and that's why we're fighting to hopefully keep this season going.
We've been through a lot, and, you know, I'm trying not to get emotional, but it's been a crazy season. You know, we would like to finish it with you know, playing the game, so.
Okay, so happy for the Cougars,
yes.
But Brenna, what do we know now about their new opponents, Central Michigan?
Yes, the Chippewas from Central Michigan. There you go. They went 8-4 this season, finished second place in the MAC West. If it weren't for a 1-point loss to Northern Illinois this season, they would have been atop the conference. They're a team that has a balanced attack on offense and a star running back in Lou Nichols III, who had over 1,700 yards rushing this season. Central Michigan has some strong ties to WSU, as their defensive coordinator Rob Akey held the same position at WSU from 2003 to 2006 and was a defensive line coach for the Cougs from 1999 to 2002. He also was the head coach at Idaho from 2007 to 2012. Also worth noting, the Chippewas head coach Jim McElwain faced the Cougs in a bowl game before. Back in 2013, he was head coach at Colorado State when the Rams had a comeback win over WSU in the New Mexico Bowl. If you know the game, you know what I'm talking about. McElwain also played quarterback for Eastern Washington in the 1980s and was on the coaching staff there until 1994. So a lot of connections to this area on that Central Michigan squad, which is Not a place you would expect to
No.
find them, but
maybe
here we are.
kids. Maybe it was meant to be.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first bowl game that has been impacted due to COVID that was not canceled. So this is the exception to the rule that WSU and the Sun Bowl was able to pull this off.
So Central Michigan fans who bought hotel rooms in Tucson, right?
Yes.
Now they're scrambling. They're getting rid of those, and they're trying to get them in El Paso. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm sure that there are a lot of Central Michigan football parents who are going to be making the trek from Tucson to El Paso this week. Yes. So, yeah, it's exciting times for WSU.
Okay, we love that. All right. Well, I want you to keep it here on KREM2 and KREM.com for the latest on the Cougs and, of course, the Sun Bowl. We know now it's going to be happening. We'll be doing the Sun Bowl Friday at 8 in the morning, and for a pregame special, Brenna Green is going to be leading us, leading into CBS Sports coverage of the game, which does start at 9 a.m. And again, you can only catch the Washington State Cougars in the Sun Bowl. You'll catch it right here on KREM 2. Again, that's this Friday morning. Well, highs today were only in the teens and single digits, and today with the sun down, we can expect even colder, bitter cold temperatures in the overnight hours. We've got meteorologist Michelle Boss in tonight. She's going to tell us just how cold it is going to get. Michelle.
We'll likely see temperatures dip down into the single digits tonight. The cloud cover is really what's going to be saving us from seeing even colder temperatures, but we may see even colder weather Wednesday morning. Right now, though, we have mostly cloudy skies in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. We've been seeing some flurries off and on today. Picked up about 0.2 of an inch of snowfall today, but we've got clear skies out to the west, but even a little bit of sunshine this afternoon did not do anything to help those areas warm up. We're in the single digits now. This is the temperature, not the wind chill. 6 degrees in Ritzville, 8 in Moses Lake. It has been sitting at 0 over the last couple of hours in Omak, while we're dropping down into the low teens right now in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Unfortunately, we do have a little bit of a breeze out there, even in Spokane, 15 miles an hour. That is plenty enough to make those wind chills feel even colder. It feels like 0 outside in Spokane, but it feels like it's below 0 at Moses Lake, Wenatchee, Kettle Falls. It feels like nearly 20 below in Omak. The weather has been brutal there over the last 24 hours. All right, we're going to keep the cloud cover overnight, so I think we will bottom out in the single digits, but looking for some clearing Tuesday night until Wednesday. That could take temperatures down to 0 or below, with a high of only 10 degrees, and snow returning to the area. Light powdery snow on Thursday with highs in the upper teens.
Thank you, Michelle. Well, the cold weather has local plumbers bracing for a surge of calls. You can imagine water pipes that aren't maintained. Of course, they can freeze, they burst, and then that is messy and expensive. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk explains what you need to watch out for and how to protect your home.
Plumbers tell us if your pipes do freeze, you'll notice a dramatic drop in pressure in your sink or shower, and in some cases, you won't have any running water at all. Water. We can't live without it, but it can cause major problems in your home.
I mean, I've seen it upwards of $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 worth of damage.
Chris Allen is a plumber at Bulldog Rooter. Today, their phones kept ringing.
Okay, I'd be happy to help you with that. Could I put you on hold again for a moment?
Allen and his crew are expecting more calls in the coming days for frozen pipes and ones that have burst.
If the basement is finished, you don't know what's going on until the damage is done. It ruins the sheetrock, the framing, the flooring, grandma's piano. Anything that's down in that area is going to be ruined.
That's why prevention is so important. Allen says the first thing you should do is disconnect any outdoor hoses and insulate the faucet. You can find those covers at any hardware store. For pipes inside your home, open up sink cabinets and let heat circulate, and consider leaving a trickle of water running from the faucet highest in the house. That trickle should be a small, steady stream. Everyone in your home should know where the main water shutoff valve is. If you notice any problems, call a plumber before it gets worse. In some cases, you'll be able to clear a frozen pipe yourself, but never use an open flame. Consider using a hairdryer or electric heater.
And Bulldog Rooter told us even though they are busy, they have enough staff on hand to respond to emergency calls the same day. Reporting in Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
The city of Spokane has opened a warming center in downtown. They opened it yesterday. Along with food and blankets, there are more than 100 mats for people needing a place to sleep overnight. One of the most vulnerable groups of people during this Arctic freeze are people who are experiencing housing insecurity. The Spokane fire chief says when the city saw the cold air coming in, they knew they had to do something for those without a place to go.
That environment is unsustainable for life. We know that we lose people when they try to weather this out. So it's important for us to make contact with them and offer them a safer option. Our crews will be going out and making contact with these people in the areas where we know they are staying or where they typically stay, and then offering the shelter.
The city is taking donations for the center. They say the most requested items are socks and other winter clothing. Those can be dropped off, by the way, at the Cannon Street warming shelter, the Cannon Street shelter. And of course, that warming center that we just talked about, that is going to be open through January 2nd. That's for anyone who needs a warm place to stay. And not only should you look out for your house during these freezing temperatures, but of course, your pets as well. Here are some tips that pet owners should take to ensure their furry friends stay safe during this dangerously cold weather. Get them a coat. Yeah, your furry friends can benefit from that extra layer of protection from the cold. And check your pet's paws. Cold, damp weather and sanded sidewalks can lead to cracked paws. And cut back on bath time. They actually dry out your pet's skin. So if they get dirty outside, use a moisturizing pet shampoo. And of course, keep your pets inside for much of this cold air blast. And taking a live look at Snoqualmie Pass, where it was 6 degrees there earlier in the afternoon. It got so cold that the pass camera actually froze. The pass has gotten 44 inches of new snow since Christmas Eve. Conditions, though, are expected to be mostly dry through Thursday, but as you can imagine, temperatures are going to remain well below freezing, so watch out for black ice. Well, we're not only seeing extreme weather, our neighbors on the west side are also getting caught in freezing temperatures. Washington State Patrol responded to 184 crashes in King County because of lots of new snow. Drew Mickelson is in Olympia with how they're faring over there.
Well, here in Olympia, it seems like most people spent the White Christmas weekend celebrating, but today was the day to dig out and get ready to hunker down for what could be a long week. Tow truck drivers have been busy all over the South Sound really since early Friday and Saturday mornings. We met up with a crew today that had to drive in from Lakewood about an hour away to help this stuck water truck. Some of the neighborhood boys were earning a little extra money and also getting in good with their parents by shoveling their driveway. The hope was to get this driveway clear before mom and dad got home from work today. If you don't have any young bucks around the neighborhood, you can always look for a professional. We met up with David Drury. He usually is a tree trimmer, but when it snows, he becomes a plowman. He has a tractor and he is happy to clear people's driveways and office parking lots. He says if you are going to get out there and shovel the snow, do it as early as possible in these storms. He says you do not want that snow to settle down and harden. He says that'll only make it a lot harder to get out. County and city crews are also working to clear the roads, but here in Thurston County, they're asking for a little more patience, saying they're not as able to work as quickly as usual because COVID and the holidays have left them short-staffed. Here in Olympia, Drew Mickelson, KREM 2 News.